Hey guys, Pro1701 here. Today we're going to talk about Super 7, and I'm going to tell you the 10 Thundercat figures that I really want to see Super 7 make in their Thundercats Ultimate line. Because I'm a huge fan of Thundercats, obviously, and I really enjoy the Ultimates line they put out. And it will cover variants and stuff like that as well, because there are several variants I want. I'm just going to talk about kind of the top 10 figures I hope they get to, because I want to have them on my shelf. Number 1 is the LJN recolor of Slithe. I love my vintage LJN Slithe figure. I really like his color scheme a lot. I also really enjoy the Super 7 Slithe mold, which is right back here. That is one of the best Thundercat molds they've done. It's very detailed, very intricate. I can see why they're reusing that mold to do the Mutant Army three-piece they're doing. And I really hope that they do Slithe in his LJN colors, because his LJN colors are vastly different. So I do feel like, unlike some of the Thundercat toys, it's different enough from the animation colors to warrant a reuse of the mold. And it's a great way to get, my sinuses are acting up. It's a great way to get more use out of that mold. I would absolutely love to have a vintage colored Slithe on my shelf, big time. Number 2 on the list is Top Spinner, who is my second favorite Berserker after Hammerhand. I love my Hammerhand figure. He's right up here out of camera range. And I do want to, of course, get all of the Berserkers and all of the Lunatics. I want to fill out the groups. But I have the vintage Top Spinner toy and the LJN one, and I loved that figure so much as a kid. I still actually have my vintage one from when I was a child. It's missing his shield like most of them are. But I loved that toy a lot as a kid. So it really endeared me to the character a bit, even though I was never overly fond of him in the animation. He was fine. But I really hope we get, I know it won't have the action feature, but I really want a Top Spinner Ultimates figure on the shelf a lot. Number 3 on the list, jumping to another group, is Tugmug. Tugmug is probably my second favorite Lunatic after Chilla, because I like Chilla a lot. And they've already announced Chilla and Allura. Tugmug, I don't know, he's just big, he's bulky, he's got a good weight to him. I like his character design. Thought the voice of him in the cartoon was cool. He even broke the Sword of Omens once. He'd look good on a shelf. I think all of the Lunatics would look good on a shelf, but Tugmug is just being my second favorite. I just really always got a kick out of him. I can't wait to see how big he's going to be when he comes out. Number 4 is Ghost Jaga. Now, they've already done one Ghost Jaga, but I didn't like the fact it was a Super 7 exclusive. I don't really like pre-ordering from Super 7 because I don't like having to pay the money up front. I'm one of those people who got burned on the Wave 2 of Thundercats that took about 27, 28 months to come out. So I had to pay for figures and then wait literally over 2 years for them. I mean, there was a pandemic going on, to be fair, but still, that's very frustrating. So I tend to order from like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth. That way I can just pay when they're about to ship. I like that a lot better. And they did their Ghost Jaga as an exclusive, and that really rubbed me the wrong way, so I ended up not ordering it. Plus, I don't like the fact he wears that battle belt that he wears in that one episode, and it's irritating. I would rather just have, because I don't want Ghost Jaga for battling. I want Ghost Jaga for, giving sage, wise advice, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, because let's be honest, Jaga's basically Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what I want. So yeah, I really just want like peaceful Obi-Wan Kenobi Jaga, just looking like the regular Jaga figure without the belt, just in its ghost form. And they can do it the same way they did this other release with the translucent blue, or they can do a glow in the dark one. It doesn't matter. I just want a good regular Ghost Jaga that I can get from Big Bad Toy Store. Next on the list is King Arthur, when Mum-Ra disguised himself as King Arthur in the episode Excalibur, which is one of my 2 favorite episodes of Thundercats, the other being Mirror, which is the episode with Mum-Ra disguised as, well, not disguised, but when he turns into the red suited Lion-O, which I have my red Lion-O up here too. I've wanted a red Lion-O since I was a kid. Those are my 2 favorite Thundercat episodes. I really like the design of Arthur, the way his outfit looks with the helmet and everything. It's a really cool design. I'd love to get it in figure form. And you can do multiple heads. You could have the armored helmet like Mum-Ra wears most of the time when he's in disguise. You could have the armored helmet with the red eyes glowing through the slot, like it happens a couple times in the episodes. And then you could actually just have Arthur's head, because when it shows the flashback of the actual King Arthur, when it shows him battling in the past with just the chainmail armor on his head, where you can see his face, you could swap that head on there. So you get 3 good looks from him right there. And he could, of course, come with Excalibur as an accessory, which would be really neat. I don't know if Super 7's ever thought about doing Mum-Ra disguised as King Arthur, but I think it's a cool looking character design. I would love to have that. Next on the list is version 1 of Hammerhand. The way Hammerhand looked in his first appearance. When he looked a little more, less cybernetic, he just had the robotic left arm in that one. I really would like that. I do prefer his version 2 look, the one we have the figure of. That is my preferred version. But I would enjoy having a version 1 Hammerhand figure as well, just to put on my shelf. Next on the list is Jackalman. I would love to get a JNT Colors repaint of Jackalman. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they have that mold anymore, since that was originally a Mattel figure, or if they could redo that mold, without the pins, the pinless mold like they've been doing with them lately. I don't know how hard that would be to do, and if it would be worth the cost of doing a variant for that, or doing that just for a variant. But I tend to love Jackalman's vintage colors, his toy colors, his LJN colors. So if they did do an Ultimates Jackalman, I would be totally in on it. An Ultimates LJN Jackalman, I would be totally in on it. Next is a new Tigra, because the Tigra figure we have, to me, looks more like the LJN one than the animation, with that more teal color. And of course, he had his other issues as well, which don't really bother me the way they bother some people. The abs and the elbow pad never really bothered me. Just that teal color to me screams more the vintage toy, especially the older version vintage toy, because there are technically 2 vintage Tigra toys, the younger and the older. This strikes me as a good one for the older. I really would prefer a more cartoon accurate Tigra where it's more a blue color, like the Mattel 8-inch figure we got back in around 2011 of Tigra. I actually like the colors on that one better. So if I get a Super 7 Tigra in those colors from that Mattel toy, that would look really, really good. I think it was Mattel. Hasbro, whoever did it, it wasn't Mattel. Whoever did the 2011 Classics line with the 8-inch Lion-O and Tigra, I want it to be that color. Not that color, I'm really struggling with this today. I want it to be the animation color. I really want a Super 7 toy in that color, like the animation. Next on the list is an LJN Rotaro. I love Rotaro. He's one of my favorite vintage toys from Thundercats. I don't know why, but I've always loved my vintage Rotaro. I still have a vintage Rotaro, not my original one, but I've picked one up in the past few years. And I don't know, he still displays great. And his LJN colors are very different from his cartoon colors. And that's a great mold we're getting for the Rotaro that's already been announced in his cartoon colors. And that would be a great way to reuse that mold to do him in his vintage LJN colors. I would totally double dip and get that. And then the last one on the list is the other Amazon girl. I can't remember her name. The one that's always with Willa. Her name's like Nida. I cannot remember her name. It starts with an N. But I like her a lot, and anytime I think of Willa, I think of her there too, even though she's not always. And if I have Willa, I want her next to Willa, because I just feel like I need at least 2 of them on the shelf to make it work. So I hope they do her as well. So those are the top 10 Super 7 Thundercat figures I hope we get to see. Maybe not right away, but eventually. I want to know what you think and what 10 you would pick, so comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. That helps me out and I appreciate it. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There is a link to that down in the description below. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I have a P.O. box down there if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. And a link to my Amazon wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.